Welcome everyone to the Hall of Fame ranking series presented by Worpex and
Og.
Today we're going to be going through the first 5 players in a top 15 countdown series that we're going to start here. So, our top 5 players ranked by total number of wins in the free-for-all Masters League.
So number 15 is Tyrant66. He is a great undead player from Hungary, and as I've noticed looking at his stats page, he's got the best win percentage of every FML player ever at 50%, which is pretty insane in my opinion. As you can see, he's only played 22 games, but won 11 of them, which is it's really ridiculous. He's a great player.
Yeah, and he also won the Season 20 Grand Finals, as well as participated in the Season 18 Finals with our very own Mog. So Mog, when playing against Tyrant, what are some things that really stand out about his play?
Well, Tyrant is a surprising player. Every time I play against him, I get surprised all over again at, one, how good his micro is in battles. Especially against Night Elf, I always have a really hard time against him. And honestly, that's the most surprising thing, is that he's such a strong micro player, but yet he somehow has the ability to fly under the radar so well. And I think it's his good game sense, and pairing that with his strong micro as an undead player, he knows how to close games out at the end, even when people think, oh, he's already dead, or they don't think he's as strong as he is. So
yeah, with 50% win percentage,
it shows in his 50% win rate. So
definitely backs up your point.
And another thing I noticed, that I just noticed now, is he's never finished 4th ever. He's always been 1st, 2nd, or 3rd.
That's actually ridiculous.
Yeah, that's. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
So 50% with 11 wins, Tyrant 66. We're going to move on to our 14th player. Number 14 in our rankings is Eshin.
Yes, Eshin, he's a random player from the USA. He's been around a really long time, I feel like. I don't remember exactly what season he showed up in, but
he might have played in one of the first 3 seasons, I think. He's been around for a long time.
I feel like he's a very old school player. An interesting thing is, wasn't he in the finals recently? Was it season 20?
Season 20 final? He played again the season 20 final with Tyrant. Tyrant ended up winning that one.
That's right, and he was just in the most recent semifinals. So he's always been, upper tier player, dating back probably a very long time. We do see he's got 11 wins total, which is pretty good for 28 games. But the thing that strikes me as interesting with Eshin is 11 wins and then 8 4th place finishes, and it kind of speaks to his play style of he either dies really early, or he dies early and doesn't get finished off and comes back and wins.
Real strong player, and then when he kind of goes for that last push and he doesn't make it, he just sort of is like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, he does have his own unique style. I have to give it to him. I don't necessarily enjoy it. Sorry, Eshin, but he's a very strong manipulation-based player. He knows how to get the opponents to do what he wants them to do, which that's a strength. As much as people might dislike it, it's definitely his greatest strength, I would say.
So Eshin, number 14 in our rankings. We move on to number 13, and we got another old school player here who's been around since as long as I've been around playing this game. We got Slythe at 13.
Slythe is honestly one of my favorite players. I love watching his games. I think he's generally a nice guy too, which, that's cool. And he's a random player. And the best thing about Slythe are his hero combinations. Even after however old this game that we still keep playing is, he still manages to do something interesting and entertaining. And I think it's awesome. Anything you have to say about Slythe? I know you've known him longer than I have in the old FML days.
He's been around for a long time, so he's played 31 games in the Free-For-All Masters League since Season 10. I don't keep track of standings before that, so I'm not too sure what he's done. I know he's played in seasons prior to Season 10, before the reboot. But yeah, he's played 31 games since then, won 11 of them, has a grand total of 440 net points, and 35 win percentage of 35%, which is pretty good in free-for-all, honestly, 35%. But then again, all these guys have good win percentages up here.
He made a resurgence, too, this season. I mean, honestly, I enjoyed watching his games. I always think he's entertaining, but I never really thought he was that upper tier, kind of a threat to make it to the semifinals or finals kind of player. And this past season, he proved me wrong. He showed really great games, solid control, great decision making. It's definitely someone we gotta watch out for in the future, I think, because he's probably gonna be around for, the next however many seasons.
Well, since he's been around this long, so I'm not sure if he's been in a semifinal.
Yeah, he was in the season 12 finals, and he actually won the semifinals that season as well. But I think he took a couple seasons in between off, or at least he was around, but I don't think he was playing much.
So that's our 13th player, Slife. Moving on to 12th place in our rankings, it's going to be Please Leave Duck, also known as RSM. Duck is sort of our bad boy of free-for-all. Never a guy that people really like to be around, but he's always the guy that people feared. He always had an incredible micro, as he hailed from a solo background. Probably one of the only people on our top 15 list to come from a solo background exclusively.
Yeah, I remember Duck being he would say top 5 North American solo player. I don't know if he was exactly top 5, but he was up there.
He came into free-for-all, and he actually won, what was it? One of the cups that Ugly ran for Play Free-for-all.
Yeah, the For Freedom, In Search of Freedom or something like that.
Yeah, In Search of Freedom one. #2. He won that cup. So I don't think he's been in one grand final, or was supposed to be in one grand final, and then I guess something happened. He couldn't make the final, and Steppen Razor ended up subbing for him. That was season 13. We actually had a sub in the grand final. Want to talk about his stats real quick?
Sure. His the thing that stands out to me, and it goes along with his playstyle being such a strong solo player, is he's got 4 bonus points from second place finishes with the top score, or not winning but getting the top score, I should say. So even though his win percentage overall at 31% is the lowest of the 5 players we're talking about today, he's finished top score a lot.
Yeah, he's a very aggressive player.
Agreed.
Yeah, so he's an aggressive player. As you noticed, he actually has 11 wins, just like all the last 4 that we went over. Of the last 4, he has the most points. So we actually did, in our rankings here, these 4 by points. He also has 11 wins out of 35 games, and as Mog pointed out, 4 bonus points, which is actually very good. And he's at a 31% win percentage. And coming in with 12 wins on this list is our 11th place person, Zs.SuperCumulo.
Zs.SuperCumulo is the human player out of Denmark. He plays random sometimes also, but I think it's pretty well-known fact that he's best with human. He does have 12 wins, which is pretty good. And if I recall correctly, I think he started in season 17, so he's been around for a little bit now. He did win season 22, and was also in the finals of season 21. So he's definitely, he's in peak form, I would say. Currently, he was in the semifinals of this past season as well. So he's always been, lately at least, in the top tier of players. I think he's a pretty aggressive player. He often is aggressive at the start, and then unfortunately crumbles under the weight of being teamed. I think that's most of the games I've seen. He usually loses in those situations, but if he works on his mental game, I think he's definitely a top tier human player for sure.
He just needs to build more towers, really. That seems to be the solution for most human players.
I think that's the solution for every human player ever.
Or just tanks, if you want to just go tank and spank style.
Yeah, he needs more suicides with tanks, I think. Then people would fear him more.
Alright, so Zs.SuperCumulo comes in at 11th place on our list with 12 wins, 9 second places, 9 third places, and only 5 fourth place finishes, which is pretty good out of 35 games.
Yeah, it speaks to his play style, really. He's got pretty strong micro, and because of that, he usually wins his initial 1 versus 1, allowing him to hardly ever finish in 4th place.
And that'll do it for this edition of the Hall of Fame series. We covered 15 through 11 in this list. Next list, we'll be doing 10 through 6. Let me recap real quick. 15th was Tyrant, 14th, Ashen, 13th, Slife, 12th, Duck, and 11th, Zs.SuperCumulo. Congratulations to whoever opened this list, and stay tuned next time.
Thanks for joining us. This is Mog, and with me is
Worpex.
See y'all next time.